Alright guys, so let me just explain what we need to do today, and that is the failover clustering. So thank you for reminding me, just like you remind everything else. Thank you very much for that too. So, but definitely you're right. And now, what about now? 21 November? We're good now, right? Thank you, sir. And week 13. Oh, thank God, you reminded me about that too. Since Bassam said why, so there will be a class now. Grab this guy after the class. No, he said why, that's enough. Yeah. Alright, guys, so well, I don't know how to do makeup. So. Okay. That's why we will have another class where I will learn how to take a makeup. Alright, guys, so failover clustering is a topic here, and let's try to discuss that topic. And for this, first of all, we need to have two new machines. So the topic is SQL Server high availability. Very, very important topic. So if the SQL Server, one of the SQL Server goes down, then the other SQL Server should keep on running the show, or the database on that SQL Server should keep on running the show. Now in Exchange Server, we went for high availability as well, and that was called DAG, or Database Availability Group. Huh?
You said this slab is too huge. Can you separate it to me?
No, why? No.
Okay. So now you should. It's all his fault. Second time. This lab is going to be split. This lab will be split in 2 weeks now, guys. So, guys, we're gonna have server 1 here, and that server 1 would be obviously our infrastructure server. Infrastructure roles are there. There's AD here, Active Directory. There is DNS here, DHCP here, and so this is especially obviously Active Directory and DNS we really need. But what we don't need today is server 2 and 3. We do not need today, right? But that doesn't mean that you can delete them. Oh, you were gonna ask that question? Okay. So server 2 and 3, we're going to shut down. Why?
Changing hardware.
Oh, now we can create the other two machines. No, we can. Okay. I was gonna say in VMware Workstation, but we still have server 1 there and template machine in our VirtualBox. So guys, we're gonna shut down server 2 and 3, but we need it powered on. So server 1 we need powered on, but we're gonna shut down server 2 and 3. Why? Because there is failover clustering feature that we need to install. That is one of the top features of high availability in Microsoft. You may have heard failover clustering before. If not, then you're going to actually implement that now. What? Oh, okay. There's only one guy who's talking in the class. Excuse me, sir. Sir. These guys in the front are distracted. It's too loud, right? Hey, we have a guest today. Oh, I'm just kidding. Yo. Okay, so guests are all welcome here. It's okay. Pizza? Okay. So okay guys, so here failover clustering, and what we were talking about is that this is high availability in SQL Server, and we need to create two more machines now because we already installed here SQL Server, right? So SQL here and SQL here. Now for high availability, normally what happens is you need machines that already have, first of all, failover clustering configured. So what we plan to do, and then I'm going to explain what is failover clustering, basically what we're trying to achieve here. So there's that OS, and then we're going to be on top of that installing a feature called failover cluster. It's a feature in operating system Windows 2012. And on top of that, we're going to be installing SQL Server. So the main objective of this is, so we're going to do that on both. And main objective is, if your database is here on this SQL Server, and that database, suppose it's DB01. So if there's, in case this full server goes down, so this server crashes, then this database would be shifting to the other. It will actually, without any downtime, it will start working from the other SQL server. So that is the specialty of failover clustering in Microsoft. So you have a failover cluster which could be 2 servers up to 32 servers, and that, you know, any application. Suppose you have file server here, you have file server or web server, or in our case SQL server. The most important scenario here would be actually SQL server, that is on top, that is highly available, right? So if the full server is lost and crash because of the disk, because of network connection or anything, this database will be available from the other server. And there is second specialty is zero downtime, and that's the biggest, actually, zero downtime. That's why you lose a full physical machine and the database is still available without any disturbance on the second physical machine. Those applications and users which are connected to the first through the first machine to the database are actually still connecting to the database, but from the other machine. The thing is that as soon as the first server goes down, all services and connections are redirected within seconds to the other physical server, right? So that is really something that and we're gonna configure that from scratch, right? That's why it's gonna be fun. And at the end, we're gonna do a crash test. So and our machine, our SQL Server database should be up and running, right? So that's the main purpose. You lose one machine, the database on top of that is simply available from the other machine, which is an exact partner machine of the first machine. So obviously we talked about the active, passive, and synchronous, asynchronous already. This, any one of the machine can be active and the second machine, and this active passive you're going to hear a lot in the cloud course as well, in AWS Azure active passive, because this is what the companies really need there, that you can make their critical work highly available, right? So active, passive / standby, whichever machine is on standby. So active machine always, I need to remove this. So right now so what is the regular work of an active machine? And I asked that several times before. So can you tell me quickly, what does active machine do? Other than that it stays active, yeah. What does active machine do? Yes, receives end user connection. So that's one thing. Okay, receives end user connections, and then so end users are making changes in the database. In our case, it's going to be applications mostly that will be connected to the database. And suppose there are so many connections here to this database. And what does passive do? Regularly. Exactly. So all the changes are being copied to the passive in LAN synchronously, on WAN asynchronously, right? So when we say LAN, so it's always synchronous. And yes, in our exchange class or COMP3114 also I asked, and what is synchronous?
What
Same time, real time, right? So since you guys answered at that time, so I'm just like, okay, again. So it's a synchronous replication, replication, which is same time or real time replication, we can say, and no data loss there, and more bandwidth. So I put that, I think, I don't know how many times. Okay, but this is something that the companies really are looking for. So synchronous replication, same time, both machines updated, same time both machines updated, but there is no data loss in case one machine is gone, and obviously it requires more bandwidth. So asynchronous takes more time, and that's opposite of synchronous, asynchronous, and that takes more time. There is a data loss and there is less bandwidth involved, and this one synchronous is used in LAN, obviously. So the four things that you need to remember are these, and now final exam is upon us, and we have to make sure that whatever we're talking about here, we should know, because exam will be from the video, from these diagrams, and maybe you see a diagram there and I could just ask questions about the diagram that might not even be related to the diagram. Okay, so but anyway, my task is to confuse you brutally, and I enjoy that. Oh, okay, just kidding. So no, it's just that to test your knowledge. Yeah. Huh? Oh yeah, that 1 point for those who made a mistake, not for those who got it right.
Got it right, but you were.
That's-
It's a difference.
like everyone will be correct on that question. Those who were will stay corrected while not getting anything else because you were correct already. So, okay, guys. So here, yeah, let me fix that today. I'll check that who were not correct. So what we are trying to check here is that these two machines, the new machines that we're about to introduce there, we're going to go for operating system, then failover cluster, and then SQL Server. So as Bassam recommended to everyone here, that half of the lab we're going to do today, and the next half we're going to do, yeah, it should be cold water. I mean, or maybe hot coffee you can bring. Yeah, hot coffee from there, cold water from here at the same time, right? No, half lab is 4 hour. It is big lab, right? So no, okay. So it was already the plan, but thank you for confirming that. Anyway, so but we can go fast now. So guys, first we understand that this is what we want to achieve. We want to achieve zero downtime when the database has to fail over to the other machine because the first machine went down. It will just fail over right away. The end users will not know, the applications will not know that actually the full physical server went down, right? They should not know that. So that's what we need to achieve here, a zero downtime when it fails over. So high availability would be, obviously you lose a server and you're still available, your application is still available. That is called high availability, right? That you lose a physical server and your service is still available. Okay. Okay, so here now what we need to do, why we are shutting down these two servers, because SQL Server is already installed. First we need to install failover cluster, we need to configure it properly, then we need to install on top of the failover cluster the SQL Server. So we cannot do that with our current two machines, server 2 and server 3, right? So that's why we're going to go ahead and create the two machines there. And we need to configure full failover cluster. That itself is a stunt. Okay, so I'm just going to go for another diagram. If you understand that what we're trying to do here, and that is that we have two physical servers, and we will put a database on any one of those. We're going to configure the failover clustering, and we'll crash one of those, which has the database server. This is a not group, like not. Okay, so here now our plan, let's go for first server is server 1 here, which we will keep started, and the second one we need to create 2 now, and these servers, let me just give you the exactly, how do you know? Okay, so anyway, let's go for server 04, and it would be 192.168.200.4 and 255.255.255.0, and the gateway would be 192.168.200.1. Preferred DNS would be 192.168.200.1. So if we go up there, this is IP and this is subnet mask and this is gateway and that's PD, preferred DNS. Okay, you're just programmed to say IP, right? Okay, that's good. So let's go ahead. Okay, guys, so this is what we're going to do, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other server, and that would be server Cinco, right? Cinco, 5, right? Okay, thank God I was correct. Okay, so here, and that is Cinco here as well. So we're gonna have Cinco in both name and IP, right? So we learned Spanish as well. Okay, so we're gonna create these two servers, and then there are some features of failover clustering that we need to configure. So failover cluster here, we need to configure networking. We need to configure storage, and then we need to configure so networking, storage, and then install FC actually. So we need to add to domain. No, but this is failover clustering after we add it to domain. So we're gonna add it to domain. Join to domain. It's not do, it's do. Okay. Do. And turn off firewall. Alright guys, so let's start doing that, and your first screenshot will be coming then when we have the two machines ready, right? So join the domain here, and in one class there was no screenshot, so I told everyone put up your phone and take a screenshot of this. But this is just starting. I mean, actually, I haven't created the whole thing. There's a hand raised. Yeah.
We just clone from our template, right?
Exactly. So let's start doing that. Doing what? So I will just put those major steps here. And it should have major size as well. Yeah, you're right. So shut down server 02/3. Now right click template VM and create two clones, right? Server 04 and server 05. And then we need to add two network cards, right? Add two NICs and refresh their MAC address, exactly. So other than that, so one of the network card, obviously, add two NICs. One NIC would be what? One NIC would be internal network. First NIC would be internal net, and second NIC would be NAT. NAT. Just internal, right? But which is internal network. So it only shows internal there. Internal, yeah. Oh, okay. Internal network. Now, once we do that, then we start the two machines. And then we okay. Once you start the machines, then give static IP and rename and restart. So rename to server 04 and server 05, and then restart. After restart, let's take a snapshot of those machines, snapshot for both, and then join to domain. Once that is done, then we start configuring, then we log in from your first name admin. In your case, it's SQL admin, right? SQL admin. For me, it's net admin, and for Han is net admin, but for all others is so login from SQL admin, and then we're gonna configure first FC storage, FC networking actually, failover cluster networking. Then we will configure failover clustering or FC storage, and that would be SAN storage, iSCSI SAN, and then we're going to install FC, which is failover cluster. Yes, spelling mistake for me. Yeah.
No, hardware. For memory and CPU.
Oh yes, exactly. That's very good option there. Question here.
Thank you.
So shutdown server 2 3. Right click create template. So we need to just put the hardware as well. Let's give one processor and 2 cores. Also RAM would be we have a total of 16, so we've been giving 4 GB to each.
We don't have the option for core.
So 2 and then 6 34. No. Okay, so 4 GB each, right?
We don't have the option for core. We only have one CPU.
Okay, 2 CPUs then. 2 processors and RAM 4 GB each. That's it, right? So okay, let's go ahead and start that. So guys, I have VMware Workstation. You have VirtualBox. Okay, so where you really want me to copy? So I'll have to actually start both then. Seriously, that's wrong. For me, it's easy. Yeah, some of my machines, you will have to check some of the options there. So guys, I'll be just creating as well the 2 machines in Oracle just to show you. Although you should know by now. In fact, how about I give you a task of half an hour? I'll give you a task of half an hour, and that is to create 2 machines, join them to domain, give static IP, rename them. Right? Everyone did that like so much, and you have to do it with your eyes closed and hands tied behind your back, right? Good. Okay, so guys, let me give you a task here. Right click. So these are the steps there, but this is half hour task 1, and that task has, first of all, go to your template and just follow these configurations to create 2 machines now. And then until you reach join to domain, in fact until you reach the SQL admin, right?
So for disks,
So there will be 4 screenshots now. Oh sorry, 2 screenshots now.
for storage,
No, storage is 200 GB, so I'm just gonna put there hard disk, one hard disk. No, I'm gonna do the VMware session. So, but I'll give them the task. Then we can do you can follow me with the VMware session.
So we already have one. We should create one more.
What?
When we
Disk?
When we clone it, we have one there. It's 200 GB. We should create one more.
So why were you asking? We're asking that.
I should ask you because before we create 2 disks.
Yeah. So we're gonna not create. This one hard disk should be there, but it is already there in the template machine. So that's the one that I'm referring to. So do not create an extra disk there. So guys, this task has started, and let me just give you the details of what 2 screenshots I need. So on server 04, on server manager, that opens automatically, right? And then local server. So that's the screenshot number 1. Take a screenshot of the local server after all of the task 1 is done. All of the task 1 is done. So server manager should show obviously the name of the machine, the IP of the machine. It will show that, and the domain joint, right? So it will show all that. So it will, well, it must show the name of the server and IP of the server and domain that you joined. So that's screenshot number 1, and then your screenshot number 2 would be exactly the same thing for server 5. So, and I'll just put in front of you the oh 5. So let's go for that 5. Wow, you're starting with red eyes already. What will happen at 10?
Me?
No, her eyes are already. I'm like okay, I'll just start hiding behind this laptop. So okay, now here guys, you should be able to then see all the tasks. We have been doing these tasks so many times now that showing these tasks would be like show me the meaning. You singing that? Really? Show me the meaning. Okay, so
Good.
so guys, you got 22 minutes left. I think it should be done before half an hour. So it's two screenshots up there, and this. So now, oh man, I need to show you that, right?
That's what he's waiting.
But they need to see this, so.
Or you can just come here.
Okay, we'll do that. So, and I need to do it myself as well. So I'm gonna extend the screenshot, this screen, so I could do my as well.
You can't see the IP.
Oh, okay. So guys, I'll just show. I'll put the IP addresses here as well. Give static IP, and that is IP is 192.168.200.4 for the first machine, and then there's that pipe sign. Okay, like PowerShell, right? So, and then there is SM subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and then you put a pipe sign there, and then not me. So GW is 192.168. Gateway is 201, and then PD preferred DNS is the same 192.168.200.1. So that's your IP, and did I put it? Yeah, names are already there, right? So, right, we're good. Exactly, and the reply of is this. Onboard. So resuming now. Now, if these tasks are done and the two screenshots have been taken, okay, Basam just censored whatever I just said now. So I'll just repeat that. So if these two screenshots are taken, so then let's go ahead. Now, what we need to do next is I'm just going to put it on the diagram. We have reached where we have already joined the server 4 and 5 to domain, and we have also put the static IPs there and renamed the machines. So I hope you're all logged in from the SQL admin here from all three servers actually. Just log in from all three servers. Obviously, this is the 80 DNS DHCP, right? Now we need to configure the basic high availability. So first major task here that I'm just gonna put here is the FC, and that is, let's configure FC. So the first stage would be configure failover cluster. That's the first stage, right? So, and then second would be second stage, install SQL on top of that. Second stage, install SQL on top of that, even if you're snoring. So, and the third stage is I knew you would say that. So before going home, let's do the crash test. We crash the machine and check if the database is still available. See? Okay, so let's go for the first stage here. After we have the basic configuration, and the first stage would be configure networking for failover clustering. And my suggestion is, once you are done with the failover cluster, do put it in your resume that you know how to configure failover cluster, because that's going to really attract a lot of company owners or administrators there. And obviously nobody care about that. Okay, anyway. Okay guys, so the first step is configure networking for failover clustering, and in that so we need to have another network card, and we already have two network cards, right? Okay, so at the next time when we're installing SQL, we're gonna add the third network card at that time. So okay, so add a second NIC, which is already added, and then add a second NIC, already done, so don't worry, right? And then dedicate this second NIC as heartbeat NIC. So what does that mean? Exactly. Oh, hey, you guys know about heartbeat already? Huh? Virtualization. Did you get the vouchers for the virtualization? Okay, anyway. Okay. Okay guys, so heartbeat NIC, we're going to create that. And if I just get back to the diagram here, so we're going to create, already we have two NICs here. So this shape here is a pizza-like shape is NIC. So now we have, first we're going to name it as LAN, and the second one we're going to name as heartbeat or HB. So because what's the purpose of that? HB, it's heartbeat. So exactly, you guys are good. So this means virtualization class is going fine. That's good. So the two network cards, the HB NIC is responsible for sending heartbeats every second. If 5 seconds of heartbeat is missed, 5 seconds of HB is missed, then failover happens, right? So the passive machine or standby machine will think that if I cannot communicate for 5 seconds, this means the first machine is not available, and then the passive machine will become active. So if it is, when we say failover happens, this means that passive will become active, right? Passive VM will become active VM. right? So the thing is that you need to understand, and this could be very well a question there, that heartbeat is for how many seconds? It's per second, first thing. Second thing, if you miss 5 seconds of heartbeat, the failover happens. The passive determines, believes that active is not present if 5 heartbeats did not given any result back. So the passive becomes active, right? So let's try to configure these heartbeat network cards first of all. If you configure the heartbeat, so then the networking part of the failover clustering is done, but we need to do it very carefully because there will be a FC evaluation test we're going to run on our machines, and that is a screenshot that I need where it should be showing success to all the 75 tests that it will run. So there will be last here, there will be FC evaluation. Without this you cannot even create a cluster. So that evaluation will check, it will evaluate if your networking is configured perfectly according to the failover cluster standard. It will check if the storage is configured perfectly according to the failover cluster standards. Okay. Disturbance? Okay guys, keep it low. If you are doing something else, okay, they're not listening. So spotting the troublemakers. Hey guys, so hello, testing 1 2 3. Yes sir. So can you keep it low? Because now we're really distracted. So guys, if you are talking, if you're doing something else, keep it low, right? So if you're disturbing the class, I will be then cutting some points for that. So please do not disturb the class if you're not following me, right? If you don't do the lab, you're doing something else, just keep it quiet, right? So let us finish the lab. Okay. But you can ask questions about the topic. But if it is not this, then please keep it down. Okay guys, so what we were talking about is that FC evaluation, failover cluster, it will check if your networking is perfect, your storage is perfect, and then it's going to give you pass. If you fail on that, you cannot go ahead to create a failover cluster, right? So you need to really get that pass sign there, because that will be a screenshot for you now. Well, so your networking should be perfect. This is what we're about to configure now. If you have any mistake, you will fail that FC evaluation test, which will be run by the failover cluster before it will let you create that failover cluster. It will do a very in-depth test of your configurations, right? So let's go ahead with the networking and configure it properly. So for that, let's go ahead and you properly. Okay. So let's go ahead to server 4, and in the server 4, log in from SQL admin. So just type here SQL admin. So this is SQL admin. And then I'm going to log in from server 5 as obviously SQL admin as well. SQL admin, and because it is SQL admin for you, so that's why I'm just saying that. So on server 4, let's consider on server 4 guys, and that is, if this comes, I'll just have to press OK. Yeah, you don't have that one, that's why do not follow it. Oh, okay. So on server 4, let's go to the networking side of it, of this machine. Let's click the local server on server 4. Let's click the local server on server 4 and go down to our Ethernet 0 or Ethernet 1, right? So once we click the Ethernet, you can see here Ethernet 0, Ethernet 1 on server 4, right? So we can just rename the Ethernet 0 to LAN. So right click on Ethernet 0 and rename it to LAN.
Which is for domain, right?
Which is for domain. And right. So so LAN here, and then we go for the second one as HB. So right click and rename the second network card, because there is one screenshot coming now. HB is heartbeat. So okay, so double click the HB now. So first of all, we rename the two network cards, then we only double click the HB, right? So once you double click the HB here, properties, IPv4, uncheck v6 and go for IPv4. So we're going to give totally separate IPs. We can give totally separate IPs, or we can give the same IP range as well. So here we can give 10.0.0.1 and press tab 255.0.0.0. That's all. But we need to go for advanced settings as well. But the main thing is, if you give a totally separate range for heartbeat network card, and if you give other range for the first one, it really does not disturb anything, right? So if we go back to the diagram here, so that's where it will go for 10 range here, 10.x.x.x, right? Or let's just put that exact IP that we're putting there. That is 2 on 5, and it will be 1 on 4. So what's the question? So that 10.0.0.1 here, and we have on the other card 192.168.200.4 here. So if the two ranges on the same machines, two network cards have different ranges on the same machines, that really does not disturb anything as long as the traffic for the two are separate. So if you have this 5 IP here for this LAN here, now HB should be connected to a totally different switch as well. That's the recommendation outside, because HP's only task is to send heartbeat per second, right? So switch is there, and from that switch you can connect to this. So HB here is connected to HB here, and they can just keep on sending heartbeats per second on a separate network, but they are still connected to these two machines. Yes, sir.
Do we need that gateway for that one?
No. But and we understand that you can attach the LANs to a totally different switch, right? So this way the DNS Active Directory SQL traffic will not be disturbed by the extensive heartbeat traffic, right? So that could be another switch where only the LAN traffic is going, another switch where only the HB traffic is going. Now, since that is discussed, so that can be part of the question as well. Obviously, you won't find that in the slides, or it would be in the diagram here. You just see a diagram, maybe you will be able to answer 3 or 4 questions right away. But the thing is that, if I have just discussed it, it can be coming in the exam. Okay, so let's go back to our configurations. You can see that 10.0.0.1 is there, 255.0.0.0 is there. We do not need to put gateway here. We do not need to put the need to put the preferred DNS. Let's go down to advanced here. Let's go down to advanced. Okay, advanced. Okay, advanced. And then we go for DNS. Okay, again. So are we on this page? Okay, let's go for advanced. Oh, advanced. Okay, sorry. I need to join the ESL class, English as a second language.
Advanced sounds more
Okay.
fancy.
Fancy? Okay. Advanced is like, southern, Texas. Well, okay. So here, let's go for advanced, and then we go for DNS. I hope everyone's there. Advanced and DNS. Okay. And then we go down here. You need to uncheck this option. Register this connection's addresses in DNS. Anyone can guess what it is for? This one. So it will register the HB card into DNS as well. So DNS has server 1, and DNS knows that server 1 has an IP of 192.168.200.4. DNS knows that. Server 4 has an IP of 200.4. But DNS should not know that server 4's second network card's IP is 10.0.0.1 as well. We don't want DNS to register the second network card because they are just sending heartbeats. So they have nothing to do with the local DNS name resolution, with local DHCP, with local authentication, because it's heartbeat network card. Heartbeat network cards have nothing to do with any other network traffic other than sending each other I'm alive, I'm alive, I'm alive, that's it, per second. That's all. I'm alive, I'm alive. But we can keep on doing that till 10 o'clock. Okay, so that's why we don't need to register this network card in the DNS, right? So we understand that if we discuss that, so obviously I'll be asking questions. Two heartbeat network cards only. Heartbeat is sent between two heartbeat network cards only. V for victory, yeah. Oh, okay, no. Two heartbeat network cards only. Or, okay, two heartbeat network cards. Now we're good, right? Huh? Okay, so. Okay, guys, so let's press OK. If you have done that, this is good enough. Let's press OK here. We have already given that static IP here. We do not need to change anything. So press OK here. And then press OK again. And close. And close. So what we have done on server 4, we're going to do exactly on server 5 to configure properly the heartbeat network card in server 5 as well. So let's go to server 5 here.
Name it.
So I'm going to go to local server here, server 5, and there Ethernet 0 will be renamed as in server 5 the same as we did in server 4. So it will be LAN here, and Ethernet is renamed as HB here as well. And then in server 5, go inside HB, the heartbeat network card, go to properties here as well. We do the same thing now. Uncheck V6 and
Click IPv4.
click 4.
Double click.
Okay, so double click V4, and we then give the IP as 10.0.0.2 and 255.0.0.0. We understand that, right? So, and then we click the advanced. Oh, you're saying advanced. Okay, advanced, and then DNS. What?
Register.
Register.
Uncheck register. Then you are
Uncheck register. So you're not registering this
for semester.
for semester.
Sorry, for DNS.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, register this connections to DNS. We're not gonna do that. If guys, you must do that exactly the same way. Otherwise, the FailoverClustering evaluation test is extensive. If you fail in that test, which we will be running on, you will be running on your machine. So if you fail, you have to configure that. We will have to go ahead. I hope I don't fail. Oh, okay. So press OK here, and then go ahead and keep pressing OK here. So according to the diagram, go ahead and press OK and close. So if we go back to the diagram here, just to track our progress here. So we have configured the heartbeat here on server 5 and server 4, and we have given proper separate IP addresses there. They will only send heartbeats to each other through that switch. Suppose we have a switch, and that is per second. And if we miss 5, that's okay. Okay, guys. So now the networking portion is done. Let's go for storage portion here. And if you are really careful, you will pass the evaluation test right away, and you will see how in depth it is.
No need to go for final.
No, that's just a software evaluation.
That's what you said.
No, I'm like, okay. So I'm just gonna put some steps there as well. Now this is we have talked about the networking side. In fact, I should put that as FC networking. First stage is FailoverClustering. Then said okay, FC networking, and there we put this. Okay, now let's go for the storage, and that's gonna get even more interesting. FC storage, and there what we're gonna do is we will provide 3 disks over the network as SAN wants. So I'm going to be explaining all that. SAN is storage area network. So we're going to be configuring a virtual SAN here, and LUNs are logical unit numbers. What are those? These are disks shared over the network. So logical unit numbers, or disks shared over the network with other servers or services. LUNs are those disks that are actually present in some other network or within another machine, and they are being shared over the network for another machine, right? So let's try to actually see that in the diagram. What is SAN? Why are we using that? And what's the significance of that? So if we go down to this diagram here, now we're going to be creating 3 disks here. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to create 3 disks here, and those 3 disks are going to be 300 GB each. It could be any 100 GB, so that really doesn't matter. So but we're going to be adding 3 disks only in server 1, right? And what will happen is we're going to share these disks with the 2 servers. And why are we doing that? So first of all, this one disk will be shared with the 2 servers. So because this disk lives on server 1 and it is going to be converted to iSCSI disk. iSCSI disks are those disks which can be shared over the network, right? So this one disk will be shared, then the other disk will be shared, and the third disk. Now you can just try to check one thing here. Technically, one disk shared with 2 servers, second is shared with 2 servers, and then third is shared with both servers. So you need to make sure that you understand that all 3 disks are attached to both servers. All 3 disks are attached to both servers. Exactly like that, both servers. Okay, so anyway, so that is LUN 1, there is LUN 2, and LUN 2, and this is LUN 3. Okay, so these 3 disks, why are we putting that? The only purpose of having a disk over the network is that when you put a database here, you will not be putting the database on top of a local disk. You have a local disk on server 4 and server 5. Anyone can tell me what is the size of the local disk here in server 4 and 5? 200 GB is the size of the local disk here. But when you put that database on a disk that is coming from over the network from another machine, what is the benefit of that database? So first of all, you can use a lot of storage. What is the benefit of putting this database on a shared disk instead of putting it on the local disk? Okay. First thing is that free the local space. Space is one thing, but as you said, what kind of disaster recovery? How? It's offsite. So server 1, it could be a SAN solution, that could be offsite. Okay. Offsite means that we are sharing that disk in George Brown College, suppose. So the disks are coming from nearby building or nearby campus here. Nearby could be 20-30 kilometers as well, right? So but what's the exact benefit you were not able to tell me still? When you say high availability, okay. Okay, so what really is the benefit? As soon as the server here, so this database, end users are accessing this database through server 4. They're all connected. They are told that, hey, connect to server 4 and connect to this database. If this database, if this full server crashes, then what happens? These guys will start, first of all, this LUN is connected to server 4. The same LUN is connected to server 5. if this LAN from server 4 is inaccessible, all those users connections will be redirected in milliseconds to server 5, and from there they will be still connecting to the database, because this same LAN is connected to server 4, this same exact LAN is connected to server 5 as well. So when server 4 goes down, the same LAN is accessible to server 5. They keep on using that database that is on the shared disk, and that shared disk is coming from somewhere else. Yeah.
Does that also save on the fact that they don't have to copy it from one place to another? You're both accessing one source.
Exactly. It's not exact copying. As soon as the server goes down, you're still accessing the same source altogether. You're just accessing the same source. There's no copy, there's no failing over, there's no migration going on, right? Because in milliseconds you cannot migrate anything. That same thing has to be there, that's all, right? Milliseconds cannot give you that kind of choice. So what we understand is that if this server physically goes down or crashes, your connections and connections, what is the connections, maybe 2,000 connections there, that can be moved at once to another server very easily. So, and they don't take that that kind of bandwidth. It's just connections of maybe 20 users, 30 users, or 200 users, or 2,000 users even. So, but we understand the logic of it, because if it was on local disk and the server had crashed, then if it's on local disk, you have a downtime then. Obviously the server is gone now, until the database is gone now. So until you put on the server back, the database is not accessible. But if it's on the LANs coming from SAN, then this LAN is accessible from over the network from the other servers as well. And you can have here 32 servers, physical servers. One LAN will be attached to all 32 servers as well, right? One LAN can be attached to all 32 servers as well. So we understand that if we put this database on a LAN that is coming from SAN, then you can really protect this database easily. And that's the same logic for virtual machine. If you put a virtual machine on top of that on a hypervisor, then you can protect that virtual machine as well. Guys, we're going to be creating 3 disks in server 1, and we're going to be attaching them. We're going to convert these disks to iSCSI disks. So when they are local disks, they cannot be shared over the network. When they are converted to iSCSI disk, and we're going to convert that with a feature which is also called iSCSI. So iSCSI disks can be shared over the network to any other machine. If you convert any local disk to iSCSI, even here you convert any disk to iSCSI, the full disk can be shared now to any other machine. So local disks, iSCSI disks here, and let's go ahead and try to create that. Now what we need to do is, and there's that benefit of VMware Workstation over VirtualBox. In VMware Workstation, you don't have to really shut down the machine to add disks here, but in VirtualBox, you have to shut down server 1 to add 3 disks, right? So let's go ahead, guys, shut down that VirtualBox. So the task number 2 with the one screenshot here is exactly. Thought you were. So here, screenshot number 3 and 4. We're going fast today, I guess. 3 and 4. So 2 more screenshots. So let's quickly do that. So server 4. What we need to do first is server 4. Server 4. Seriously, what's wrong with me? Server 1. Add 3 disks, 300 GB each. Once added, then take a screenshot of all 3 disks. So shut down server 1. Then try to not breathe for that duration. Okay, just like, and now do that. Okay, so here shut down server 1 and add 3 disks, and make sure disk 1, 2, 3 have your names. Add your your names to disk 1 dash your first name, disk 2 dash your first name, disk 3 dash your first name, not mine. And once added, then take a screenshot of all three disks together. Screenshot of all three disks together. Then power on the server 01. So guys, that's your task screenshot number 3 and task 2. Yes sir,
So,
I'll be showing you.
So
Yeah.
store the cartridges as a single file or multiple files?
Single file.
VDI, VHD, VHD.
Task 2. So the name would be this disk 1 dash your first name, and then disk 2 and disk 3 same way. So disk 1 so at the end there's disk written there, right? At the end. Yeah. Everyone is able to create the disk, or shall I show you?
Yes.
You don't know how to add a disk?
No, it's yes.
Yes, I should show you, or yes, no, I can do it.
No, yes.
No, yes, I can do it.
No,
Yes, no? Okay. So take a screenshot here. Okay, let's add fourth screenshot now. One screenshot for all three disks added. And screenshot number 4 is, which is task 3. And that is power on server 01, log in from SQL admin obviously, and in server manager go to tools, computer management, and then once you open computer management, then go to disk management and take a screenshot of all three newly added disks showing there. That's your screenshot number 4, guys. Take a screenshot of the newly added disks within the Windows now. Yes, sir.
So, the name, when you're adding, it doesn't, it only shows you. I only can see here. Oh, here it is.
Yeah, and we're just doing a second. So you have name somewhere showing here anywhere? Anywhere. Yeah. Okay. Good. So take the 2 screenshots, guys. No.
We don't have any like equipment physical resources.
Yeah, that's all I'm like. I think this is the only actual resources that we
Yeah.
have. Like on the side, it said like since it's a big project and everything, we have to hire extra people and like the designers. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Number 2 slide, top 3 to 4 minutes.
As you can see, the project manager is the one that earns the most. Then the public, the cheapest one, doesn't earn anything. I just don't know here on this one. Let's go and future enough. I don't know what this is. I was reading what you said,
Yeah.
but that this is like this is saying you have to
Sir.
that's what the file system is MBR or
Yeah. Well, sort of.
So guys, there's a question. The file system should be MBR. So MBR is okay. It could be GPT as well, but MBR, GPT, whichever you choose, it's okay. Since it is first MBR, so MBR is okay. When you go inside the computer management? This is timeout. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. So what was that?
You create a partition or not? Just
No, but first the proof that the 3 disks are showing. If anyway they are showing, just take the second screenshot. If that is done, let's go ahead. So there are 2 screenshots here, guys. Screenshot number 3, screenshot number 4. 3 is when the machine is down and 3 disks added. 4th is when the machine is up, you're logged in, and then 3 disks are showing. So 2 screenshots. Have you taken those screenshots? Yes. Oh. To start? Oh, it is taking time for everyone. Yeah. So screenshot 4 is that when you're logged in. Description. Okay. So label. Yeah. Okay, guys. So label is as well. Added 3 disks, 300 GB each. I'll just change it to label. Added 3 disks, 300 GB each. That's the label for screenshot number 3. And disks showing 3 disks showing inside disk management. That is the label for added 3 disks, 300 GB each is a screenshot number 3 label. And screenshot number 4 label is 3 disks showing inside disk management. You're good, right? Cool. Good. Okay, that's good. Oh, whoa. I need to do that too.
Should I initialize this?
Yeah. So I'll just quickly do that now. VM workstation, we don't have to do that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
Oops. I'm about to show you.
Sir, it said single, and you now you choose multiple. It said single to me, and you choose multiple.
Oh, really? No. Same? Okay. So guys, let's go inside the server manager and do that too. I hope you got the screenshot number 3 and 4. If you got it, let's go ahead. It's MBR.
Okay.
It scared me, man. So I'll go back here and I'll go to tools. And then disk management. So the 3 disks are showing to me, but it's not showing MBR message. Okay, guys. So yeah, then it will. Okay, guys. So is this done? Let's go ahead.
Yes.
Right? Okay. If that is done, let's go ahead, guys. Okay. So let's. I'm just in server 1 now. You have to be very careful configuring that because we are creating a SAN out of this. So if I go back to the diagram here, we are creating a virtual SAN inside there. You know, an actual SAN solution, you know how much is that in a industry, IT industry? It is, when you purchase a SAN, any company, it is $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 SAN solution, which is that you purchase, that you have a rows and rows of disks. So suppose if I go for HP SAN, you can see here images in the images. Yeah, so that would be rows and rows and rows of disks after disks. Each disk maybe $2,000, $1,000, $3,000, because they are built for SAN. They are really fast and they have some advanced features there. So you will see that even you can have here, suppose with the help of SAN, your boss says that on server 4 I need 300 disks, 300 or 200 disks. So you can, from the SAN, you can just map the disks over the network, 200 disks or 300 disks. Huh? So in Scotiabank, in RBC, and all the big companies, they always have 100 disks in one Exchange server, 200 disks in one file server, 300 disks. It's up to. So with SAN, you can keep on adding more disks, and the performance is best because they're really expensive. So, and the network should be either fiber optic or iSCSI. We're going for iSCSI. iSCSI works on Ethernet. Fiber optic works on fiber optic cables, right? So the speed would be obviously, and then the expenses, it could go up to $500,000 when you have a fiber optic network with SAN. So the mouse is stuck here. Oh no, it's not mouse. It's a frog. Grab it. Okay, so let's go ahead, guys. And okay, one more frog. Yeah. So vSAN here. So this is not vSAN. This is maybe you've heard about vSAN in virtualization course already. So that vSAN is different. This is just, I'm just saying that virtual SAN, but that is a terminology as also used. So the SAN we are creating is not vSAN. It's just you can say software SAN, we can say. But if you say vSAN, that this means that's a terminology in VMware. So that vSAN has to be then referred to that vSAN. So this is a software SAN, we can say, and there's a hardware SAN, there's a software SAN. Hardware SAN, you must have $200,000 or $100,000 for that, and software SAN is free as well. But there are expensive solutions in software SAN as well. Depends on the features you want. So, okay guys, software SAN has to be enabled on server 1, and then we need to map those 3 disks to the 2 servers one by one. So let's go ahead. If you need a break. Oh, that was, yeah, came from the heart. It's like, yes, we need to give me a break, teach. Okay guys, so 7:51, so it's 8:01, 8:11, 8:10. So you got a 20-minute break here, and we're meeting back at 8:10. Okay, 8:11.
Banana on the computer.
What? You're kidding me. Yes, sir.
For the project. For the project, we had to create a table for the SQL server, right?
Yep.
And the last name should be our name, the student ID, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And I didn't do it.
Oh, that's good. I needed to cut some marks for someone, man. Should not be a perfect project.
Oh, really?
Let me just edit that now. In the video. And we were talking about the 3 disks there. So if you have detected the 3 disks on server 1, then we need to first format them one by one, and then we're going to name them LON 1, LON 2, LON 3, and then later we're going to convert them to iSCSI disks for them to be shared over the network to server 4 and server 5. So let's do that now. Yeah. Okay, there's a yeah. Okay. So now we got the approval as well. Let's go ahead. So that's very good. Just kidding. Okay, so here, yeah, let's go faster now. We're done. Okay.
Oh.
No.
Really? Okay.
And in this I asked about 8 more screenshots which you missed all. Okay guys, so here once you're inside the computer management, you can see the 3 disks there. Maybe you already formatted that, or you're going ahead. So I'm just gonna go ahead with the right click online here. As soon as I do that to all 3, right click online and right click online, and then we go for right click initialize, and then all 3 should pop up. I hope you've taken the screenshot of this. That was screenshot number 4, right? So all 3 disks showing, or all 3 disks this way showing. Anyway, if these 3 are showing, that's also good. If these 3 are showing, that's also good. So MBR is selected here, and I'm just gonna press OK now. And then let's go one by one. We have to actually format them to be usable locally first, and then we're gonna convert them to iSCSI one by one as well. So right click on the first disk one here and just create a new simple volume. And as Bassam said, next. So next, and then what's his name? Vitor said next. So let's check next. Okay, and then next. So guys, make sure that the label is LON01. We're just giving a naming convention. And click next. So yes, it's gonna perform a quick format, and then it's LON01. So click next, and click finito. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll just go back here. Are you on this page or? Then next, and nothing to change here. Next, nothing to change here. It's E drive. Next, and then there is LON01. Okay. So well, same process for the next two disks, but it will be LON02 and LON03, right? Okay, so let's click next now and finish, right? Then we go for the second disk here, and that is disk 2, exactly the same process, just name it LON02, and the third disk LON03. So let's right click on the second disk, new simple volume, let's click next. And 300 GB next. It is F drive now. I hope everyone is getting the same drive letters. Next. Okay. Yeah. 02. And next. Finish. Okay. You're sure? 100%. Okay. So right click here. New simple volume. Third one. And okay. Next. And next, okay. Next again. So make sure it is G drive now. Okay. G for Google. No. Okay. And volume label. Okay. 103. Next. Finish. Sure, right? Okay. Finish. So two guys are sure here. So we're finished. So guys, if 3 disks are created there, let's go ahead and share them over the network to server 4 and 5. That's a very good question. How? That's it. Okay guys, so now how do we really share the 3 disks over the network to any of the servers? In our case, just 2 servers here. So there is a feature called iSCSI feature. I'm just going to go back to this, and we're going to be adding a feature called and we're going to add a feature called iSCSI. So let's add that feature called iSCSI now. This one, right? So since I got approval from okay, so let's go ahead. So there's that. Okay, so we need to add iSCSI feature on server 1. So let's go to dashboard. Let's go to add rows and features now. And add rows and features, and then it's next. And role based or feature based is next. Okay, next. And make sure it is on server 1 you are right now. Make sure you're on server 1. So click next. Guys, make sure you're on server 1. Man, you're confusing him as well. I said 1. Okay guys, so you're on server 1 and next, and we need to add a feature called iSCSI. And if you see on the roles window, you can see file and storage services here. If you expand the file and storage services, you can see this guy, iSCSI target server. Make sure that you selected that. And iSCSI target server, let's talk and discuss about that now with Bassam. So iSCSI target server is the server that converts a disk to be shareable over the network. No, he's saying hurry up, hurry up. So I'm explaining in detail iSCSI now.
Which one do you select?
So iSCSI only, guys. So iSCSI target server, only select this one. I'm gonna select that. If you have selected on the roles and you've gone through this, I hope everyone has gone through this and see that. If you selected that, go ahead and click next. This is very crucial feature here. Next. If you're done, click next. So that's next, right? If anyone wants me to repeat that, let me know.
Install, right?
So
Install or no?
right, click the restart and press yes. Click the restart, press yes, and then install. But no, click just restart. Do not restart server 1. Just click this one as a restart. So let's click install here. Once you click install, now iSCSI feature is getting installed. With the help of this feature, we're going to convert the first disk, the second disk, and the third disk to iSCSI disks, which means you can share them over the network to whichever server you want. In our case, we're going to share them with server 4 and 5 only. So you're going to see the security features, the sharing features. It's an amazing, feature itself, which we should know how to configure at least iSCSI or software SAN, how to configure that. This is what we're doing right now. So this is very important to understand. Let's go ahead, and if the feature is installed here in server 1, let's click the close button. Nope, it's not restarting the computer. So restart button is there for if it wants to restart. If there's a pending restart, then it will restart. Otherwise, it won't. Okay, guys. So is that feature installed for everyone? Okay. So now we need to go to see this one. File and storage services. I hope everyone's seeing that on server 1. Once you click the file and storage services, do you see iSCSI? Okay, so let's go for iSCSI now. Let's click that, and we will be converting our local disks, which we labeled as LUN 01234. Actually, 102, 123. Okay, just kidding. iSCSI, and go to this. See this? To create an iSCSI virtual disk, start the new iSCSI virtual disk wizard. We're converting a local disk into a shared disk, which is called LUN over the network. So let's click that link here now. Bassam is like, yes, okay, go ahead, go. Okay, so here, now if you see all the disks here, we need to convert the disks one by one. So which disk is the first one that we're going to choose? C or E? E? Exactly. Oh. See? Okay, so this is your screenshot number 5, guys. This is your screenshot number 5. Take a screenshot of this page, iSCSI virtual disks. So take a screenshot number 5 of this page where it is select SCSI virtual disk location. It is showing. So just exactly name it like that. Select iSCSI virtual disk location. This is your label as well. Select iSCSI virtual disk location, and this is the page you need to take a screenshot of. So that's your screenshot number 5. Select iSCSI virtual disk location. Okay, so I'm just gonna go up here. Screenshot number 4. 5. So iSCSI virtual disk location is the label here. So if you have taken screenshot number 5, let's go ahead.
Yeah. Where? Go where?
Go ahead. That's it. Ahead. Wherever that is. So ahead. So guys, let's go ahead and let's select E drive very carefully. So just carefully select E drive. Okay. So once you select E drive and click next. So this is we need to give a name, and we have already been given a name for the first disk, so we're going to go for LUN 0 here as well. So in fact, that's very good. Dash your first name. Exactly. Bassam recommended that. Grab this guy after the class. Yeah.
Bassam's first name?
So 101, and there's a request about next. What's your name? N. Anson. Okay, guys. So Anson says next. So we have to go click next now. So let's click. And if we go there, specify iSCSI virtual disk. So guys, we're gonna use up the full space. We can just use half of that as well. For the LUNs, you can just use 100 GB as well. But just put the full size there. One more thing here is fixed disk and dynamic disk. There's a difference here. Fixed disk is going to occupy all the space. It is called thick provision as well in VMware, and its performance is better. But if you go for dynamically expanding, that is called thin provision in VMware. And dynamically expanding is bad in performance, lower in performance, but it saves your disk space. So let's select dynamically expanding and let's put 300 GB. If you have put in that information, let's click next. And now it says iSCSI target. So we need to understand this. You're eating in the class without sharing with me. Okay, so let's go ahead and guys, it's saying iSCSI target. What is a target and what is an initiator? I'm a target? Oh, okay. Sorry? So, okay guys, see this? Target, always understand in the storage terminology here. Target always offers storage over the network. iSCSI target, or you can just go for target always offers storage over the network. Initiators always request storage over the network. So remember that target always offers storage, initiator always requests storage. So in this page, where do you see the target? Which server is the target and which server is the initiator? And initiators are? Exactly. All right, Anson is correct. Okay, so target always offers the disk, so definitely server 1 is offering the disk, so that's why server 1 is the target for the initiators or requesters, server 4 and 5. So let's go ahead on the target. You need to give the name target, some name there to the target. So let's go there and do that. So let's go back to server 1, and there it says new iSCSI target. So click next. All right. So new iSCSI target and click next here, right? So you can see the name here. Now that could be we can just say target storage 1. You can just name anything here, any meaningful name. Suppose these disks are for the sales department. You can just say sales disks, SAN sales disks, or whatever you want to say. So target storage 1 dash your first name. Oh, okay. Oh, that was shocking, right? Hey. Oh, okay. So since Anson has said next, so we have to click next now. So guys, just put your last name here, and did I say last name?
What if you have two last names?
I was checking if you're all active right now. I was just checking if you're all active. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Huh?
What if you have two last names?
My and last name. Okay, so guys, let's go ahead, and I didn't get the question anyway. So target software storage 1 dash your first name. Click next, and now you have to click add to specify the iSCSI initiators that will access this iSCSI virtual disk. So guys, be careful here. Many students make a mistake here, and then they say my SAN is not connecting, and SAN is having some issues. So carefully do these steps because there's a next screenshot is for this page. So let's click the add button here first of all. Let's click the add button here, and they're asking, hey, tell us which 2 servers you need to share this storage with. So the easiest way to put their names are, see this, enter a value for the selected type, then drop down. Either you can add the DNS name, IQN is the storage number, DNS name, or IP address or MAC address. Easiest one, we can go for IP address here. So let's select IP address for the first server. First means the first SQL. So 192.168.200.4. So you have to select the IP address, type the IP address, press OK. Do not make a mistake on this page. So let's press OK after you select that. I hope everyone's there. One by one, exactly. It will go one by one, guys. Do not put the second IP address here. It's gonna go one by one. So press OK here, and the IP should be showing there. Now let's go for add again and add the IP of the second one. Yes, sir. We can put as a name as well. We can select as well. We can, if you wanna go that way, yeah, sure. But better go this way. But we can, yeah. Exactly. You're right. Okay, guys. So there's that add button here again. Let's go back there and add the second server here as well. So if we go for IP address again, the third one, make sure that you selected that, and then we go for 192.168.200.5 and press OK. So that's your screenshot number 6 now, that you've added these two initiators in the target screen. So the target will be providing 3 disks to the 2 initiators. 3 LANs to the 2 initiators. So make sure the type is IP address and the IP addresses are correct. Especially the dots in all the IP addresses are small case, right? The oh, why? Okay. You're so tired and still it is funny for you. That's very good. Just means you're tired and active. Was that bad? Okay, so anyway, so if you take a screenshot here, so this is iSCSI initiator IP addresses as the label. So I'm just gonna put that there as screenshot number. Hey, what is 6 in Spanish? Cinco is 5, right? Says? No one knows Spanish? Oh, Vitor, we have to ask. Vitor, what is... Oh, just kidding.
Victor, are you here? Wake up.
Portuguese. Oh, okay. What's 6 in Portuguese? Okay.
It says S-E-I-S.
Oh, says. Okay, thank you. So we're learning Spanish as well. Okay, guys, but iSCSI initiators IP addresses. So label that iSCSI initiators IP addresses, right? So screenshot number says, oh, that's going to be confusing. Says, okay. Screenshot number says, what it says? Okay, no, it says nothing. So here, screenshot number 6 is iSCSI initiators IP addresses. If you've put in that, let's go ahead. Okay, there's a request there. Click next.
What's the name?
iSCSI initiators IP address. We all got the label?
Yes, thank you.
We all got the label, right? So let's go ahead, guys, and we have added 2 initiators. So till now, only disk E has been shared with the 2 initiators. We need to go for disk F and G as well the same way. So this is the 2 IP addresses. Let's click next. And now enable authentication. Normally what happens is that if you are in some kind of insecure environment, suppose it's a military installation, you need to be extra careful. So when you're sharing disks, you can create the authentication here. Enable CHAP, which is challenge handshake authentication protocol, and then reverse CHAP is again. So when you're sharing the disk from the target to the initiator, you give the username password of CHAP. And when you are sharing from initiators or requesting from initiators to the target, then you go for reverse CHAP. But we do not need to really use that, so that's why we're going to just ignore that. This is just an extra layer of authentication, and if you are over the WAN doing that, then you can just put that. Normally the passwords are clear text, so it's not very secure. So anyway, but that's just an extra layer of security for when you're sharing the disks between the target and the initiator. So we're not going to put that. Click next. Oh, okay, next. And this is a summary here. Everyone sees the summary? No, it's not a screenshot. So let's click create. No screenshot. So we have to successfully configure failover cluster. Failover cluster can only be created if you've passed the FC evaluation test, and you will see how brutal that test is. So okay guys, here let's click the close button, and the first disk has been shared with the two initiators. Let's go for the second and third disk now. So if you're on this page, I hope everyone's on this page. Right click where? Anywhere here? So just right click anywhere here.
Good job.
Yeah, I was gonna actually go to that way on the right side at here. You can do it from here as well. New SCSI virtual disk, iSCSI virtual disk, and then anywhere here, new SCSI iSCSI virtual disk. So let's take that new iSCSI virtual disk by right clicking anywhere here or on the task. Once you start there again, now you know which disk to put. F disk. And this time we're not going to be creating a target because we already created a target. We're going to be adding disks to that same target from now on. You good with that, right? We understand that. Let me ask you in detail now. Oh, just kidding. Okay, so let's select the F drive and click next. Oh. Name is 02 102 dash your first name. 102 dash your first name. Oh, next. Wow, 300 and dynamically. Oh, you're so tired that he's unable to say that long name. So, dynamically, what? Okay, dynamically expanding and 300, and let's click next. Now we're gonna add this second disk to the same target, right? We're gonna add, so keep this existing iSCSI target clicked. Keep this existing iSCSI target clicked and click next. So no change on this page. We're not creating a new target now, right? So in the existing target, you can add 200 disks, 400 disks, 1000 disks, and that one target you can give to any server. So suppose this one target is given to server 4, whatever number of disks are attached to this target will be given to that server, right? So let's talk about further about this. Oh man, this is getting hilarious. Okay, so existing iSCSI target here, and click next, and then click create. You sure about that? Okay, so let's click create here. Now the second disk has been added to the same target, the third disk the same way. We're gonna add the third disk as well. So right click here, new iSCSI virtual disk here as well. The third disk is being added to the same target, so that target could be given to the initiators, and all the disks will be given to the initiators with the help of that target. So the target, okay, so let's click the G drive here and next. Man, I need to visit his shop someday. Okay, so next, and then there is 103. Oh, dash your first name, exactly. I remember that. Oh, okay. So yeah, thanks for reminding. And then just go next. We know the drill now. So 300 here, dynamically expanding. So in production environment, you would choose fixed disk. Here we can choose dynamically expanding. 300 GB next, and then it's the same existing iSCSI target, and click next. Right? So we do the same thing, right? So click create. Go ahead and click create. Once you click create here. Wow, how did you know that? Oh, okay. So let's click close. So guys, we can see the 3 disks here. No, in production environment it should be fixed, because fixed has better performance, and dynamic is for test environment only. So better performance in test environment with that is like we don't know who is this, right? So we need to find the culprit this way. Okay, guys. So here, this is your screenshot number 7. Screenshot number 7 is the 3 disks successfully added. Make sure the IP addresses are clearly showing here. The target name is clearly showing here. So take your screenshot number 7 where iSCSI virtual disks are showing. So we can label it iSCSI virtual disks created. Take a screenshot of this page. That's also information that you might need later. So obviously this, we haven't reached the half of this lab yet. So we haven't reached the half. Really?
No, I mean the lab, not the time.
No, we're not done with the time yet. Okay, guys. So here, if the screenshot has been taken, the label is iSCSI virtual disks created. iSCSI virtual disks created. So screenshot number 7. Oh man, 3 screenshots remaining. That's not fair.
No, it's until 7.
So screenshot number 7 is this.
What
This. This. Okay. So iSCSI virtual disks created. Virtual disks created. I hope everyone got it. Let's go ahead and if you have created, so if we go back to this diagram and discuss it for next half an hour now, that what we did and why we did that, what is the history of all that, and from which books the reference is coming from, who are the writers of those books, and what is the history of the writers itself, which university they went. Just kidding. Okay, so let's go ahead and okay, so here, so if you have already created those disks, let me just explain in 2 seconds now. 1, 2 actually. So the SCSI, the target side is configured now. The initiator side has to be configured. Initiator, right? Initiator side has to be configured. So let's go to server 4 now, and initiator will initiate a request to connect to the target to grab all 3 disks, right? So let's go to server 4, which is the first initiator. I'm going to go for server 5, which is the second initiator. Before going there, one precaution: turn off all the firewalls. Otherwise, you won't be able to do this task. Firewalls off. Make sure, double check it. The domain profile normally is on, and these are new machines, so firewall is on pretty much on server 4 and 5 right now. So make sure firewalls are off before you start this task now. Turning off, I means turn off the firewall. Yeah, that's it. What else would I mean? Okay, so server 1 here, I'm just going to go there to server 1, and I'm going to check here in the firewall, and the wall of fire is off. Actually, it's not. Serious. Okay, domain networks, so it is on, and it's going to stop you from sharing the iSCSI disks over the network. Then you will be wondering what happened. So turn off the firewall on server uno. Then I'll go for server, oh, what's 4 in Spanish? Oh, okay, anyway. So Cuatro, yeah. So server Cuatro, just go there and go to domain local server and go for there. Turn Windows firewall on or off, and click turn off here as well for server Cuatro. Then we go for server Cinco and go for that as well. We're already tired, and then we're hearing Spanish, so maybe it keeps you awake for some reason. Not sure what. So turn off. So all firewalls are off. Only then the next task will be possible. Otherwise, you'll be stuck and you'll be asking me, "Hey, come here, troubleshoot." So please turn off all the firewalls. They're off. Okay. So let's go for server 4 now, guys, and initiate the request to grab all 3 disks over the network on server 4. So let's go to the server 4. If you're on server 4, let's click the tools, and do you see this guy?
Yes. No.
iSCSI initiator. So let's click inside server 4 iSCSI initiator. That's how the servers requests the disks over the network from SAN, right? Well, Microsoft servers request that way. So let's go down to tools and click iSCSI initiator, and then it says the service is not running. So start, yes, go ahead and press yes. So we're gonna press yes to start the service. By default, it is disabled, right?
You click yes.
We agree with that the service normally is disabled. We have to enable
So you click yes,
it.
right?
Yes, click yes. Go ahead and press yes. Huh?
Huh?
Yes, target IP. Yeah, good man. It's about to pop up now. Oh, it popped up already, guys. See this? The globe icon there down on the taskbar. Click that globe icon down there in the taskbar. So what do we type here?
Target ID.
Target, either the name, DNS name, or the IP of the target. IP is
Easier.
192.168.201.
exactly. So type the IP of the target, and initiator will get that. Do not go ahead of me here because it's gonna get tricky. If you did it wrong, then you will be asking me to come back. So okay guys, 192.168.200 dot uno or one or okay. Hey, is one in French, isn't it? Right? Okay. So see, at least now we're awake, right? Okay. So 192.168.200.1 and click quick connect. So I hope you are successful in this stage. If you are not, everyone sees this? Everyone? Okay. Screenshot number 8? No. Not now. I need the screenshot for that evaluation. So guys, if it is connected, if it is not, check your firewall and basic connectivity. Can you ping or not, right? So if it is saying connected, login succeeded, then click done. Now we're down to 2 screenshots. I need to put it on some more critical areas. So let's click done here. And no.
Go to server
One
5.
more area. Go to?
Server 5.
No. No screenshot, and do not go to server 5.
Volumes and devices.
No. What? He did that before.
Yeah, pizza.
Go to volumes and devices, guys. That was a guess, right? Yes. You did that before? Okay, it was a guess. Okay, guys. So volumes and devices. Huh?
That's the next step.
Okay. Okay, guys. Once you go to volumes and devices, you need to click auto configure. Once you're on volumes and devices, you need to configure auto configure. Oh, okay. So let's click auto configure, and do you see this magic?
Yeah. What is that?
I was gonna excitedly say that, but you're like, yeah, go ahead. Well, okay. So anyway, so these are 3 devices over the network. These are the paths over the network. If you see only 2, this means the third one is not detected. If you see 1, that means
We see all of them.
okay. So volumes and devices and 3 links are showing there. This means now the disks are here. We have successfully mapped the disks. So okay.
No.
I already took screenshots. Sorry.
Okay.
There's no.
We don't have okay.
So click OK now. I didn't see the OK, actually it was gone. It was so now volumes and devices. If you see all 3 lines, you're successful. If you don't see that, then this means there's a communication error, or firewall is on, or you cannot ping. So this means that the 3 disks have been successfully mapped to the initiator. This means the 3 disks has been successfully mapped to the initiator, right? So press OK now.
Now?
Later. Okay. So, hey guys, now the 3 disks are here. Let's do the same thing on server 5 as well. So I was thinking my favorite line hasn't risen the hand yet, and the hand has been risen.
That's fine. Everything fine.
Everything fine.
It's okay.
It's okay. You're saying on his behalf. Okay. So guys, let's go to server 5. Same steps exactly. Let's go to server 5.
Done.
No way.
Oh, I forgot the screenshot.
Let's go to tools in server 5. Let's go to iSCSI initiator.
Did you take screenshot or no?
Well, I haven't decided that yet, but all of a sudden I will ask for any. Oh, there are 2 hand raised. Yeah. In server 5 or 4? 4? It's not showing the. So did you check the firewalls? Did you check the?
Finish, then. Finish, and then.
So press yes here.
Where?
Oh, here. That's it. In.
Resume.
Now we're not going to be starting the initiator in server 1. We understand that, right?
Yeah, it takes too long.
Takes too long. No, there's no benefit. Okay, so we're in server 5, and I'm just going to connect it to the target 192.168.200.1. Quick connect. Connected.
Okay. Done.
Oh, there's a hand raised, so just kidding. Okay, so yeah, volumes and devices, and then click auto configure here as well. Oh, you didn't do that? Oh, you didn't. Okay, auto configure, and you see the 3 lines. You must read the 3 lines, otherwise make sure that the communication is there between server 5 and 1 and 4 and 1 as well. And
No, here 5 and 1 only.
okay, 5 and 1. No, I just wanted to prolong this, that's all. So anyway, one of the devices and 3 lines are there showing, which means 3 disks are shared. Let's go ahead, press OK. Now we have the 2 disks, 3 disks shared to the 2 servers or initiators, and let's go for the next step, and that is let's format the disks. Woohoo! Yay! That's a very good question. So guys, did we press OK to that? Now there is that question, why do we have to format when once on server 1 we have already formatted them. So when you offer the disks over the network,
I don't understand that diagram.
So when you offer the disks over the network, they are totally new disks for those initiators. So any of the one initiator has to format the disk. Any one of the initiator has to format. Suppose you have 10 initiators here, right? So if initiator number 7 formats the disk, then all other initiators do not have to format that. The disk will be shown formatted to all the rest of the initiators, but any first initiator has to format the disk because they have been given as if you went to the market and you purchased the 3 disks and then you put it to the initiators. So any one of the initiators need to format the disks. Other initiators do not have to format the disk. This might come in the exam. I hope you just remember from the lecture, and Bassam has a very good memory, I'm sure. He will remember what I said.
I will share it with my
Online.
So we can have put it on.
Now I know how communication was going on.
one note.
Okay guys, so thank you for all the loopholes here, sharing with me. Okay, so here, guys, what we need to do is format all iSCSI disks on any one initiator. That's the main point that you need to understand here. Format all iSCSI disks on any one initiator. All others will get it formatted. So if you got that point, let's go ahead and let's go for server 4 or 5, whichever. Let's go for server 4 and format all the disks that we mapped over the network. Right? So on server 4, let's click that server 4 here. Let's click server 4 and go to Files and Storage Services. File and Storage Services on server 4.
Okay. Disks?
Are we all there in File and Storage Services on server 4?
Yes, yes. Disks? Yes, we are.
So
We don't have same like you.
let's click the disks here.
Okay, never mind. We are good. We are good, sir.
Okay, so once you click the disks, do you see 3 disks offline?
Yes, we see.
So we're going to make them online. We're going to initialize them, and we're going to format them with LUN 1, LUN 2, LUN 3, same way, right?
Click online.
And stay here. Yeah. So the first disk, I'm just going to right click and bring online
All of them?
and press yes. And we can keep it on first. We can consider it on first of all. So right click and initialize. First I brought online, then I'm doing initialize, press yes. Then the third thing on the same disk I'm doing is new volume. So online, initialize, new volume, name it LAN01. Oh, okay. So first is right click online and yes. Then right click again on the same disk and it will say initialize the third one or fourth one, right? And yes. Then new volume, exactly. So once we go to the new volume, this comes up. Everyone gets it? Let's click next now, and this is a disk 1 already. Let's click further next. Nothing much here. We just need to format that, right? So 300 GB is the full size. Next, and then it's drive E again. Next, and then the volume label is 101. And next and finish. So we format the first disk inside initiator. So click create.
Okay, done.
And do the same for the other?
Second, third, the same way. First online, yeah, the name is LAN01. Label is LAN01. Let's click close. I'm going to go for the second disk and do the same thing exactly now. What is that? What is that? Yeah.
No, you ask first.
No, what is that? Okay, so go for 2 here. See the two here. See this? And right click here again. Bring online. Yes. Again on the same disk. Initialize. This one is initialize. Yes. And then right click again third time. New volume. No, but others are, some of them are following me actually. Some. Doctor Who. Okay. New volume. Next. And it is just 2 now. Next. 300 GB. Next. It is F drive. Next. You know the drill now. 102. And we go do the same thing on the third disk. Next and finito, right? Or creato. Creato, and then you hurt my feelings now. Oh, okay. So click close, and then offline the third one. That doesn't matter. One can be MBR, one can be GPT.
I mean, Windows give us
No. When we set them up there, that is different. Whatever we set up here is different.
but the Windows give us the option. Disk management give us the option.
Here it's not showing. This is the new version. We didn't go to disk management.
I like this version. No options. Just go next.
Exactly. Oh, okay. So let's right click the third one as well and bring online, press yes. Then right click again and initialize yes. Oh, okay. And then
Next.
New volume. Yes.
see, you don't see next here. See,
New volume.
you were wrong. That's it. You were wrong. So next, and then disk 3 here. Next, 300 GB. Next, G drive. Next.
Yeah, now I like it.
We're done. Okay. So 103. Next, create. Okay. You know, imagine we had to add 200 more disks. Okay. Down imagine.
No PowerShell script for that.
Then we're gonna use PowerShell script.
Yeah.
Oh, we are? Okay, good.
No, we would have. Okay, guys. So if this disk has been added, now if you go to server 5, you need to just bring these 3 disks online, but you don't have to format them. That's the beauty of it, that you just have to format it on any one initiator. So let's go to server 5, and on the same place on server 5, but you will see that you just have to bring them online. They've already been initialized and formatted because it's the same LAN on 4. It's the exact same LAN on 5 as well. So let's go to yes. So let's go to file and storage services on server 5. Again, on server 5, I'm going to file and storage services on server 5, and then go to disks here. Go to disks here, and then
Like online.
just bring online because they're already initiated and formatted on 4. So on 5, you just have to bring them online, that's all. So bring online in 5, press yes, and GPT is already there and they're formatted. So even if you right click, new volume is not even coming. Why? Because it's already, new volume is created on 4. So it's the same LUN shared by both initiators. Or if you had 32 or 64 initiators, same LUN will be shared by all. So right click on the second one, bring online, press yes. Right click on the third one, bring online, press yes. So guys, do we all see this on server 5? Do we all see that on server 5? I'm enjoying that. Do we all? Oh, okay. So so guys, if that is done, now the moment of truth. Okay, moment of doubt or truth. Yeah.
Now we take it one down.
Huh? So we need to install FailoverCluster, and FailoverCluster will run a half an hour or 20-minute evaluation test. It will check all corners of our configurations. If you pass, that's the screenshot we need. If you fail, you have to troubleshoot. Good luck.
Let's go.
Okay guys, so on server 4, let's install. So on server 4 and 5, the next stage is, if we go back to the diagram, oh, okay. If you go to the diagram, then we will be done. So, so FC here, we need to install FC feature in server 4. We need to install FC feature in server 5. Then, before creating the failover cluster itself, that failover cluster will run an evaluation, a long evaluation. You must pass that evaluation, otherwise it won't let you go ahead anyway. So we then cannot install on top of that failover cluster the SQL server, right? So we need to install that. So guys, server 4, server 5, let's install failover cluster feature.
Okay.
So let's go to server 4.
What's done?
Done? Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's it. Okay. Okay guys, so let's go to server 4. Do not install it. Do not install it on server 1.
What?
Do not install it on server 1.
You just say now?
Only on 4 and 5. Only on 4 and 5. So 4, dashboard, add rows and features. Next. Make sure it is server 4 and it shows 10.0.0.1 and 190. Okay, so next. So where is that features? Because it is features and not a role, so you go to the features area and then it shows. Oh, there? Where? Where? There. Oh, whoa.
It's touchscreen.
I was gonna touch it. It just went back. Okay. Okay, guys. So since there are very excited guys in the first row, and so that's why I had to actually go follow whatever they were saying, right? So let's go for failover clustering here, and it pops up with a lot of tools here. So let's click add features, and that's it. Simple. Next. Click restart. If there's a pending restart, it will restart. Otherwise, it won't. So we're just simply clicking it. If there's a need for a restart, it will restart. So install. Same step on server 5. Let's see who passes the test. So on server 5, exactly the same thing. Dashboard, add roles and features. Next.
So it succeeds.
How do you run it?
It's what?
Succeeds.
We're gonna postpone the class for half an hour, and we're gonna all be sending condolences now for the word success, whoever created that. Okay, so next.
So how do you run
Server 5, exactly same step, guys. Server 5,
Yeah, yeah. We did.
nothing in roles. Next,
Yeah.
where is it? Oh, okay. So Failover clustering, add features. Next,
Fail cluster manager. Validate
yeah, restart the destination if it wants to install. I hope we have all done that. Make sure it is fully installed on both, then initiate the failover clustering management.
Is it the validate configuration?
If you want to go ahead, yeah, sure. It is. But I'm gonna go some other way, so in that case, you will be canceling that and coming back. So, okay, guys. So I'm making sure that server 5 has the failover clustering installed successfully. So let's go to server 4. It is installed there as well. Yeah, we were. So you need water. Oh, okay.
He's dying of the sun. He's like,
I'm
oh,
done.
God,
I'm fine. Let's go.
come on, let me.
Okay. So here, but I hope you're good, right? You're good, right? Okay. No, I have to come here and check. Okay. So guys, server 4, tools on server 4, and do you see this?
Yes, we see.
What?
Go back and see what you have.
Failover cluster manager on server 4. Do we all see the failover cluster on server 4? Okay, well, I'll wish you good luck here. So, failover cluster manager, let's click that on server 4. Now, what are we about to do here?
Validate configuration.
So, let's go back to the diagram and understand that. So, guys, the thing is that if we don't understand, then our time and money will be wasted here, right? And there are so many jobs outside where they're asking an interview, do you know failover clustering? So this is a very critical topic for you, for anyone who's trying to understand and repeat. This is for not these marks here. This is for the job outside that will pay your bills, right? So that's why it's critical for you if you want to take it seriously. So anyway, but we can just go ahead and try to do that. Do what? So first of all, it's going to check the networking, storage, and all the configurations of the storage like the SAN, the LUNs. It's going to check all of those settings, and then it will give you a green pass there. So it will check the 4 categories there, and inventory, storage, network, system, and you need to be green on all 4. If it is red, you'll stay back, we will go ahead, right? Wow, it rhymes. If it's red, you stay back, we go ahead. It rhymes, right? Okay, anyway, so let's go ahead, guys, and try to validate. So right click on failover cluster. There's a validate configuration before it will let you create a cluster. Let's click that validate configuration. Okay, so once you click the validate, let's click next, and we need to tell this guy how many initiators are taking part, how many failover cluster nodes are taking part. Victory sign you? Victory from what? Okay, 2 initiators. So let's click the browse button here. Let's browse button and then click. Well, just type server because both names start with the server. So server 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So just type server and check name. It will give you the list of all the names that start with this. So let's click check name here and select these 2 only. Press OK. So if it added successfully, this means your DNS is working fine. Another congratulations. So press OK here. Okay, so they've added like this, right? For everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, let's click next and see you on the other side.
We have run only test isolate. No test.
That won't let you go ahead. You have to run all tests. Alright guys, run all tests and click next. At the end of it, do not click any button. When it's finished, do not click any button. I'm going to tell you where to take the screenshot of. That screenshot is the most critical one. So guys, this is the test. Go ahead and click next.
Error.
Oh, not 20 minutes. Just
Done?
Almost.
You're not even halfway. You're joking.
Can we do both at the same time?
What?
I tried 2 times.
Oh, okay. It's a communication between by name, name resolution. So that's DNS. By name, it's not communicating with each other.
Can you do both at the same time?
No, guys, one more thing.
One at a time? No?
This test can be done from anyone for both. Oh, it's my turn now. Oh, whose turn is now?
We will leave Emily to the...
So this test is done from any one initiator for all initiators. Suppose there were 20 initiators, you would have added all from any one, and it will run across all 20 initiators, right? So it's just that you need to pass all 4 categories, otherwise you can't go ahead.
Almost done. Almost done. This is one.
Yes, sir. Oh, you're saying put down the bottle, or okay? Oh, okay. Pause. Okay. So I was just drinking water, and she was saying, "Put down." I was like, "Whoa, okay. What do I do?" So pause. Now, and guys, what I was saying here was, if that report is there, let's click that view report. You would have done that already, but the screenshot of the view report needs to be there. Okay, I don't know my own powers. Okay, I'm not. Okay, so anyway, so it's smoking gun. Anyway, this is VMware Workstation talking. Okay, so here, once you have taken the screenshot, this is screenshot number. Oh, it's 8. We're not reached the 9 yet. Okay, we have a long time here.
20 minutes.
What are we doing next?
We're just creating a cluster and going home. Okay, guys. So it is cluster validation success
Warning is okay, right?
dash view report. View report is the button. Okay, so that's the label there. Cluster validation success view report. Cluster validation success view report. Let's go ahead. So guys, I hope. Okay.
Only succeeds.
Succeeds? Okay. So, if you have put that label, let's go ahead. Everyone has put that label? Okay. That means everyone, I guess. Or that means Halloween. Okay. So, now guys, I hope nobody has clicked all the buttons, whatever you saw there, because we need to make sure that create the cluster now using the validated nodes is clicked. Is it checked for everyone?
Yes.
And if it is checked for everyone, then click finish.
Next.
Once you click the finish here, then wow. Next,
Cluster name. My
and
name. Your name.
our name or their name. Okay, Trump's name. Okay, so cluster name. Let's go for sales cluster. So if it says that the underlying infrastructure is perfect, then it says, okay, now it will allow you to create a cluster. So sales cluster dash your first name. And the cluster is a service that needs its own static IP. So we're gonna just go for some IP that we haven't used before in this network. So let's go for 200.25. I'm sure we never used that before.
That's why it's 200.
Let's talk about it. Let's do a discussion on 250. Why not 231? Oh, okay, so let's go ahead, guys. So 225 is so cluster is a service that is not attached to any one hardware. It is a service that needs its own static IP and the name. So this is a service that is not attached to any hardware but has its own static IP and name, right? That has its own static IP and name. So there is one more service that does that. What is the name of that service? So it is load balancing. Load balancing the service that you go for static IP as a for the service and the name as well, right? So cluster is that service as well. So let's 200.25 is there, and click next. Now it says add all eligible storage to the cluster. Let's click next. I think we have to sit till 10:30 at least.
Okay, we are good. We'll stay. No problem. Since we are not coming here.
Oh, you're not coming tomorrow here, right? There's no class. So what's the rush? Let's just sit and finish the lab. Okay. Okay, guys. So here, screenshot number 9 is cluster created successfully. Screenshot number 9 is cluster created successfully. Screenshot number 9, cluster created successfully. And do not click finish here. You have to simply save the state now of all the machines. We're going to continue this lab. We're going to install on top of this. We're going to install on top of this SQL server in next class. This is half of it. We need to make SQL highly available on top of this. So you're in shock, right? Okay. So take the screenshot number 9. Screenshot number 10 is your selfie, which is smiling, right? If it's not smiling, -2. Okay. Temperature. Yeah. So it's a cluster created successfully. So take that screenshot and the label is cluster. So do not click the finish. Simply save the state and shut down the machine. Like save state of all machines. So do not click the finish. We are gonna exactly start from here. Do not click the finish. Just save state and So cluster created successfully. If that screenshot has been taken, so that's your screenshot number 9. Screenshot number 10 is a smiley selfie. Okay, just a selfie, which is tired selfie, very tired selfie, or staring red eyes selfie, whatever. So 9 and it's cluster created successfully, right? So created successfully. So this is the name there, and that's it. So just save your machine, save the state of your machine, and for all the machines, we're exactly starting from there where we have stopped. Do not click the finish button. Save the state of the machine now and upload. Next question is upload where? So that's a very good question. Hey. Oh yeah, that seemed nasty actually. So guys, did we all take that screenshot number 9? Yes. Okay, thank you for that reply. And then we go to
Smiley face for Peter.
oh man. Oh man, if it's coming from Vitor, it must be embarrassing.
You will see it.
Oh no. Coming from US? So it is week 12. Oh, I'm kidding. Okay. That's boring now, right? We're going to continue this lab next week. And we need to put the SQL on top of that. Obviously, it's going to come in the exam then. We have it. I was just, teasing you guys.
So only for Thursday not come there.
Because Bassam is here.
Sir, we can stay one more hour.
We can? Oh, you don't want to come next week, right? Oh, okay, guys. So let's continue the lab. There's just 2 hours more lab. Then you don't have to actually. You don't have to actually. Nothing. Okay. So go ahead and upload the lab.
You tried.
Hey, I need to go home as well. Come on, man. You think I'm a robot?
4 subjects. Complaints, you only have 4 subjects.
Ah. You're the complainer.
We have 6, so we're not complaining. You say, you? So why are you complaining?
Okay, guys, refresh and upload and bye bye.
What's Popeye?
No, you got
Not Popeyes, it's bye bye. In fact, Popeye would be a very good idea. I love Popeyes.